first question, Justo, is how well do we know each other and how we met?
Do you remember?
Yeah. So we had to remember this one because it's been a while now since we invested. But basically, Fudo and Justo are a Mayan, as we call it. They're a portfolio company in Maya, and we invested in one of your first rounds. No?
It's the first one.
The first round.
The
yeah.
first round.
Perfect.
One of our first investors. And we met through Luisa.
Yeah.
Luisa is also one of our investors. And she told me, you have to meet Maya. They're one of the greatest investors in Brazil. And wow, she was not wrong.
So you have a strong cap table of women then.
Yeah, we all together have. Yeah. One for me. So what's a non-tech skill or hobby that helps you in your role?
So I grew up doing a ton of sports, all different kinds. My parents played professional tennis. I grew up doing swimming, volleyball, gymnastics, and all these kinds of things. And nowadays I do more endurance sports, so I love marathoning, running marathons and also doing triathlons. And that's something that actually our entire team is very into sports. And it's something that not only holds us together, but I think also creates a lot of motivation, grit. It teaches a lot of skills that are required when being an entrepreneur, and especially being an entrepreneur in Latin America.
I remember I also love sports. And I remember you making me do some martial arts. Remember? Breaking a wooden plank in judo. What do you think that we could learn from that?
For our annual event with the Mayans, we did a karate lesson.
It was karate, not judo. Sorry,
yeah.
I don't know martial arts.
Yeah. Where we were breaking the plank, and individually it was about overcoming the fear, learning the strategy of how to do it. But in a team, it was very collaborative because somebody had to hold the plank for you. There was a lot of people incentivizing each other, so it was a collective effort, but that you were doing individually. And I think that ends up resonating a lot with our day-to-day as entrepreneurs, especially as leaders of tech companies, where individually we need to be leading, and that can be lonely. But at the end of the day, we're also supported by this massive ecosystem, not only of the people within our team, but also of our investors and of the ecosystem in general.
Well, I would add growth mentality, right? Because you're always trying to surpass your last milestone mark. I also love sports.
And incremental gains. Yeah. So what's something that people might not know about what motivated you to start your business or take your current role? Maybe it's worth saying a little bit about what Fudo does.
Yeah, so we do vertical software for restaurants. So we basically help restaurants run the whole operation, the back office, the administration, payments, and everything for restaurants. I think it's pretty obvious. I love eating out. I love restaurants. I love cooking. So I don't think that people they don't know, but they can imagine. And I also, you know this, but I worked at payments for a long time and with SMBs. So I think the intersection between eating out, restaurants, and fintech and software is kind of my sweet spot. So that motivated to get into this role.
Yeah. Yeah, people often ask us what we look for in founders before investing. And the main thing that we're always looking for, there's two main things actually. One is what we call talent magnet, so a person that will be able to attract people that are better than them. But the second one is the obsession with a problem. I think in the past years, maybe it's become all too common that people start companies for the sake of starting companies and not necessarily because they love an industry and they need to solve a problem in that industry. And so it's definitely something that stood out when we met you and your team.
Totally. Yeah, also I think that SMBs in Latin America is one of my obsessions also, because they need so much help. And yeah, that motivates. Work doesn't feel like work. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And you?
So me, it was I think venture ended up being the best intersection of what I really love, which is helping people and helping really smart people, actually, and what I think I do well, which is connect problems, connect people, or connect people and then connect solutions with problems. And so what really motivated me was more the opportunity to catalyze change, I guess, by using these two things, not only what I liked, but what I was good at.
So, what's the best piece of advice, of unconventional advice that you've ever received? This one's a difficult one.
This is a difficult one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. More than advice, I think that a lot of people challenged me on why are you doing this? Like, why are you exposing yourself to this when I had a great job before? And I could also build stuff from where I was before. I was in Mercado Libre. And a lot of people challenged me, and I didn't hear. So I just took the leap. And you? Any?
Yeah, no, I love that, because when we talk to founders and in general, and when we talk with founders, it's always difficult because we say that founders need to be, you need to be stubborn to be a founder, right? And you need to be hard-headed, and you need to be a bit of a megalomaniac. I don't know how to say that in English. Because otherwise you wouldn't be a founder, right? And so maybe that's actually a really good segue. Like, finding people that are stubborn and finding people that are difficult, maybe even difficult to work with in some cases. But at the end of the day, it's just because they're so obsessed with the problem that you know that no matter what, they're going to solve that problem and they're going to build a business on top of that.
And do you think I'm difficult to work with?
I don't think you're difficult to work with, but I think you're stubborn.
And obsessed.
And obsessed, yeah. And I don't say that with any negative connotation.
No, for us, I think it's a good thing
Yeah, exactly.
when people tell you that.